Welcome to The Explainer. Generative AI on AWS can feel, well, a little overwhelming. But don't worry, today we're going to cut right through all that complexity. I'm going to give you a guided tour of the absolute essential services you need to know. This is perfect if you're just starting to build an AI app, or even if you're studying for your next big certification. So you want to build with generative AI, but it's just so complex, right? It can honestly feel like you're lost in a maze of different services and tools. Where to even begin? Well, that's exactly what we're going to tackle. Think of this explainer as your personal roadmap, guiding you to the most important tools you'll need, all the way from the basic foundation right up to deploying your app. All right, here's our game plan. We'll start with the big picture, the ecosystem, and how to get your hands on those powerful foundation models. Then we're diving deep into building with SageMaker. After that, we'll look at how AI can transform your whole business. And finally, we'll do a quick recap of all the key services we've covered. Let's get started. Okay, section 1, the ecosystem. Let's really get into understanding the core components here. First things first, before you can build anything cool, you've got to have access to those powerful pre-trained models. They're basically the engines of all this generative AI stuff. So let's see exactly how AWS makes that happen. First up is Amazon Bedrock. And honestly, the name here is perfect. It's like the geological bedrock, a solid, stable foundation you can build on top of. What it does is give you super easy API access to a whole bunch of powerful foundation models from different providers. The best part? You can just experiment and build without having to worry about all the complicated infrastructure underneath. It's all managed for you. Now, if Bedrock is your solid foundation, then you can think of SageMaker JumpStart as your launchpad. It's this awesome, curated library of pre-trained models and, get this, even complete solutions that you can deploy with just a few clicks. And it's all right inside the SageMaker ecosystem. The whole point here is speed. It's designed to get you from idea to reality fast. So you've got two main paths here, and it's really about what you need. Let's break it down. You go with Bedrock when you want to play around, to experiment with a ton of different models from different companies and really have that flexibility. But if you're already in the SageMaker world and you just need to get a model up and running right now, JumpStart is your best friend. It's all about that quick, integrated start. All right, on to section 2, building with SageMaker. We're calling this the developer's workbench for custom models. So accessing pre-trained models is great and all, but what if you want to get your hands dirty and build your own? Well, that's when we head over to the workshop, and that workshop is Amazon SageMaker. So what exactly is Amazon SageMaker? Think of it as your all-in-one, end-to-end platform for everything machine learning on AWS. I mean everything. It handles the whole life cycle, building, training, and deploying your models. It's fully managed, so you don't have to sweat the small stuff, and it can scale to pretty much any size you need. Plus, it's tightly integrated with services you're probably already using, like Amazon S3 for all your data and model storage. Okay, before we move on, I have to stop and point out something that is absolutely critical, especially if you're working with sensitive data. When you use SageMaker to fine-tune a model, your data is locked down tight. It is completely secure, it's encrypted, it never leaves your virtual private cloud, and, this is a big one, it is not used to train the underlying foundation model. Your data stays your data, period. So you've done the hard work, you've built this amazing model, but now what? I mean, a model isn't very useful if nobody can use it, right? So how do you actually serve up its predictions to your users? This whole process is called Inference. And this is another place where SageMaker really shines because it gives you a bunch of different options. Now, picking the right inference type is super important, not just for performance, but for your wallet too. Let's walk through these. If you're building, say, a chatbot, you need those answers now. That's where real-time inference comes in. It's always on, always ready. But what if your traffic is all over the place? For that, Serverless is a lifesaver. It just scales up and down automatically, and you only pay for what you use. Then you have batch transform. Think of this for big offline jobs that aren't urgent, like running end-of-month reports. It's way more cost-effective. And finally, for those really long-running tasks, you've got asynchronous inference. It's like a fire-and-forget system. You submit the job and just grab the results whenever they're ready. Okay, let's move on to section 3, AI for your business. We're talking about bringing generative AI to everyone with Amazon Q. So far, we've been deep in the world of developers and data scientists. But what about the rest of the company? How can, say, your marketing team or your CEO leverage all this power? Well, that's exactly what Amazon Q is for. Think of it as a super smart AI assistant for your entire business. One key thing to understand is that Amazon Q isn't just one size fits all. It actually comes in two different flavors, each one designed for a totally different audience. You've got Q Business, which is built for, you guessed it, your business analysts and non-technical folks. Then you have Q Developer, which is a powerhouse tool built specifically for your tech teams. Let's talk about Q Business first. For your business teams, this is a total game changer. Seriously, it lets them talk to their data just using plain English. No more complicated queries. They can just ask a question like, hey, what were our biggest growth drivers last quarter? And boom, they don't just get a simple answer, they get back fully interactive dashboards and even AI-generated executive summaries. It's pretty amazing. And then there's Q Developer. For the coders on your team, this is like having an expert pair programmer sitting right next to you, 24/7. It lives right inside their code editor, their IDE, and it helps with all sorts of things: generating code, squashing bugs, and even helping to upgrade entire applications. Really, it's all about taking care of the tedious, repetitive work so your developers can spend their brainpower on what really matters: building cool new things. Wow, we have covered a lot of ground. So let's take a breath and move to our final section, a recap, where we put all these pieces together. It's time to see how this whole puzzle fits. Okay, this table really gives you that 30,000-foot view of the whole landscape. It's a clear progression, right? You start with Amazon Bedrock to get access to the models. Then you move into SageMaker when you're ready to build and customize your own stuff. And finally, you use Amazon Q and its business and developer flavors to bring all that AI power to every single person in your organization. It's a really smart, layered approach, taking you from the core foundation all the way to the final application. And hey, if all this talk has you itching to actually try some of this stuff out, I've got the perfect place for you to start. You have to check out Party Rock. It's a super fun, totally code-free playground that's built on Bedrock. It lets you just experiment with generative AI, and you can even build your own little apps in just a few minutes. It's a great way to get a feel for what's possible. You know, this quote here really nails the why behind all of this. It says, with Amazon Q, organizations can unlock the full potential of their data. And that's the whole point, isn't it? It's not just about cool tech for the sake of cool tech. It's about digging into all that data your company has and finding the hidden value, empowering everyone on the team to make smarter decisions way faster. So when you boil it all down, the promise of Amazon Q, whether it's for business users or developers, comes down to these three core things. First, a natural language interface. You can just talk to it. Second, you get fast, real-time insights. And third, it's all built with that enterprise-grade scalability and security that, AWS is famous for. It's the whole package. And there you have it. That was our grand tour of the generative AI landscape on AWS. We went from accessing those foundational models with Bedrock to diving into the developer's workshop with SageMaker, all the way to empowering your entire company with Amazon Q. The whole toolkit is right there in your hands. So now the only question left to ask is, what are you going to build first?